I really love to eat, but only to a point. While my palate is certainly extensive, there are plenty of dishes out there, that for a variety of reasons, I simply won't touch. This hasn't stopped other countries from digging into these recipes with gusto, though we may cringe. But people around the world are simply licking their chops. Today's video about the shocking foods in the world you never heard of. But first, subscribe to our channel and click on the button so you don't lose us too. Clams. Chances are you've eaten clams. Perhaps you've eaten them wrong, but have you ever eaten them so raw they're still bleeding? Probably not, and for good reason. Blood clams, usually found around the Indian Ocean, are a particular kind of clam called tigellata. This is the chemical that gives blood its lovely red color, and blood clams being loaded with them means when you open one, that stuff will spill everywhere. While you could theoretically boil most of this liquid away, doing so means you're not enjoying glow clams the way they're meant to. Fans of the dish, the rawness and bloodiness is part of the appeal, so in most chefs we'll boil them for 20 seconds maximum. This keeps all the hemoglobin and rawness of the meat perfectly intact. Fans swear by the tastiness of blood clams, but even they can't deny the inherent dangers of eating such a dish, since there's no prep time aside from an ever so brief boiling. All sorts of viruses and bacteria are blood. 10 calories are still there, so feel free to eat this meal. But no dessert, maybe a heaping helping of hepatitis, dysentery, or worse. Duck embryo. Balut. Eating roast duck is normal. Eating duck eggs is also normal, but balut, which is an egg with a duck embryo inside, is just plain bizarre. This off-putting Filipino dish is prepared by taking a duck egg and fertilizing it for several weeks. After about 3 weeks, the egg sports a well-formed fetus complete with feathers, wings, and a beak. They then hard-boil the egg and serve it to the hungry party, who eats the entire embryo straight from the shell. While you may be cringing at the idea, rest assured that balut is not a dangerous food unless you choke on the beak or something. You're essentially eating a combination of dark egg after all, and gaining all the calcium and protein from both. What's more, according to local Filipino belief, balut is a great libido-boosting aphrodisiac. That's something to consider for your next dinner date. If you want to try balut, you don't have to worry about shelling out tons of money at a fancy restaurant. This is no rare delicacy, but rather a normalized snack you can buy almost anywhere in the country. Expect to pay about $12 for a dozen balut, or $1 each. That's cheaper than a McChicken and healthier to boot. Stink bugs. The very name should be enough to put anybody off this food. Stink bugs are exactly what they sound like: insects that give off a scent much like skunks. Stink bugs emit their smell when defending themselves, and even if you like eating bugs, this might very well turn you off to the idea of eating these particular ones. Even so, they're a popular snack around Africa and countries like Taiwan. They're apparently quite spicy, and people love to eat them both alone and mixed in with other foods. But worry not, for the spice doesn't come from the stink glands. When preparing the bunks for consumption, cooks do remove the glands. Not eating the stink might make eating stink bugs more palpable, except for one other issue: you may be eating these bugs alive. In Mexico, they use a species of stink bug called the hummel, and this hardy little guy can survive upwards of a week after being cooked and beheaded. So if you eat a taco sauce mix containing hummel, there's a good chance those little guys are still alive and kicking. That fact might stink most of all. Tuna eyeballs. While this dish may sound like something a child may invent, or perhaps an ingredient in a witch's curse, in Japan tuna eyeballs are a real delicacy. A tuna's eyeballs are roughly the size of a tennis ball, so there's plenty to consume. When cooked, the outer part of the eye, called the sclera, becomes extra chewy and not particularly edible. However, the inside becomes quite soft and easy to drink. If that's your thing, despite many chefs sautéing the eyeballs with flavors like soy sauce and ginger, many people report the taste as kind of bland. It sounds like the rest of tuna is far more flavorful. If you still wish to try some eyes next time you're in Japan, make absolutely sure they're cooked. Some may say you can eat the eyes raw, but doing so at risks contracting all sorts of bacteria, as other foods on this list have already proven. Bacteria isn't a fun part of any dining experience, so please cook your eyes before consuming them. In addition, should you try tuna balls, be sure to ask for its accompanying shot called tuna's tears. It's a mixture of strong spirit soju and raw tuna fish lens, and it's likely to bring a tear to your eye as well. White ant egg soup. If you want a truly sensational soup, head to the Vietnam-Cambodia area and give white and egg super shot. If you don't want to eat hundreds of ants at various stages of development, however, then maybe stay away true to its name and give white and egg super shot. White ant egg soup is comprised of white hand eggs. If you eat it, fans say the eggs pop open in your mouth and emit a sour flavor, so if Sour Patch Kids have lost their luster, try some ant eggs instead. But that's not all. This soup also contains partial and embryos as well as baby ants, so no matter what stage of development you'd like your ants, this soup has got you covered. Unless of course you're one of those oddballs who like to chow down on adult ants. If that's the case, you'll just have to make your own soup. Hope you enjoy this video. If you want to watch more videos like this, please subscribe to our channel and ring the bell. Thanks for watching, and we see you all in the next video. Peace out.